Left my shades today. Dang.
You still look good.
Appreciate that. Appreciate it. Now I'll be okay. I'll be okay.
You got the cake off your face, though?
I did. Got it out of my ears, and it was, luckily it tasted decently, so it wasn't too bad. Had some fun with it.
You're telling us before camp started just about how you're very cautious with your mechanics because you didn't want to overcompensate while coming back from the injury. When you reflect on anything with the shoulder, and you like to throw a lot going into camp, was there anything as far as throwing too much, overcompensating, or is this just something that you didn't want to happen and just happened?
I think it's just something that I didn't want to happen that just happened. I don't know necessarily if I warmed up properly before I made a certain throw on one of the days, but I think it's just something, as we said, it's just taking the precautions, felt a little soreness and tightness, and didn't want to necessarily work through it and make something small worse and bigger than it has to be.
Was it that long throw that you made, that deep throw?
Potentially. I don't think it was a throw that you guys necessarily saw, though.
Oh, okay. It wasn't one of the Hail Mary ones?
Nah.
But you gonna stop doing that?
Yeah, for the most part. We're going to be up in games, so we don't have to do that for the most part. But, yeah, no, it was just, as I said, a practice, doing a drill, and, as I said, wasn't as warmed as I probably needed to be before doing that.
What do you think you'll be right now? I mean, you were disappointed, obviously, all the talk of coming back and being on the practice field and coming from the ankle injury and then 4 days of the camp, you're out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a little bummed about it, but I'm still being active. I'm still seeing the defense, still being a part of everything. So it's not like, obviously, anything that the ankle was. And I know I'll be fine. I know I'm doing the treatment just came from that, doing everything necessary to make sure that I'll be just fine. So I'm not worried about that, and it's not anything I worry about lingering or causing problems. So not even near the same aspect of the ankle deal and the time that I had to take from that.
When do you anticipate throwing again, and what do you need to feel or not feel, I guess, to kind of resume that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll take it day by day, continue to do the treatments and everything I'm doing. Early morning, late nights, doing everything I need to, and stretching and doing everything proper that I want to get it to where I want to feel. And obviously just a little less tightness than it has. And if it's in 2 days or if it's in a couple of days, then I'll get back to throwing, and I'm sure I'll just take it slow as I do that. But I think it's, as I said, it's making a deep throw or an aggressive throw at the moment right now that I don't necessarily want to risk it.
Does it change your view of when or how much to play in preseason?
We haven't necessarily had those conversations.
I'm talking about what you want.
No, as I said, not necessarily. I mean, I don't think so anyways. As I said, I think I'll get better and continue to treat it the way that I need to, that, when it's time to play and get some reps before it really counts, I'll be just fine to do that.
Do you think a pitch count will be something in your future when you do come back?
Potentially. I mean, maybe the first couple of days as I get back, but then, as I said, I'll do everything that I need to make sure that this thing doesn't linger and it's not a problem after this. So, as I said, it's not really a big concern for me. It's just something that I want to do everything that I need to make sure it doesn't get worse.
When you've been working with Britt, even between times on the resistance bands, you're watching the drills, you seem pretty focused. What's the key to maximizing the mental reps when you can't be out there physically?
Yeah, I mean, when I was working with Britt, I've still got the helmet on, so I'm still getting the play calls or whatever they're doing, trying to see the defense. Obviously, it's from the back view at that point, but seeing what the quarterback did, and then obviously it's going back and watching film and still doing all the film studies and making sure that I'm focused and getting all those mental reps, taking every walk-through rep, taking everything, taking all the steps that I need to make sure that my mind is focused, my mind is sharp, I'm seeing the defense, and I'm making up for all the time missed mentally.
Is it common to have maybe a little soreness and this just felt a little worse, or did this feel like something new?
I just never really have felt soreness in my arm, to be honest with you. So, I mean, I guess you can say it's new, but I guess when I had a 28th birthday yesterday, you get a little older and you got to change up the way you do things. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Not in this position by any means. But no, I mean, as I said, it's probably should have did a better warm up than I did on that day, and it's not a big concern to me at all.
You had the presence of mind to throw the cake with the left hand.
Yeah, awareness.
You think you threw a lot too much, maybe leading up to camp, just anticipating, or?
Potentially. I mean, and also I guess we can go back and say that a lot before my ankle was really there. I threw a lot of times from just sitting down. So maybe some of those, put some stress on my arm that I didn't necessarily have to. So I think it's important, as I said, just to do everything I can to get it back. And then once I get it back, use my legs more, get the mechanics going right, making sure everything's in sync, and I'll be fine.
How high were those GPS numbers yesterday?
I didn't check them, but I know that I should have been topped. I should have been at the top of the list.
What kind of treatment are you getting on the shoulder?
Everything, honestly. It's not fair to sit here and talk about all the different treatments and everything I'm doing, but anything that's available, trust me, I'm doing it.
Dak,
Started your career by getting unexpectedly way more reps than you were anticipating. What is that, Garrett, Ben, Cooper, what could that potentially mean for them to have that much more work?
Yeah, it's going to make them better. It's going to make this team better. Obviously, I don't want to imagine myself being out and not getting all the reps and doing everything that I can to help this team, but I know that those guys getting in, I know those guys are going to continue to compete, continue to make each other better, continue to become better leaders in case there's a time that they have to do that. I mean, obviously last year happened, and that's realistic, and it just makes this team better when those guys have to get in there and get some good quality reps.
We talked with Dalton Schultz about some of the disguises the defense is showing, and he's like, there are new things the defense is showing us in practice. I'm going back in film trying to figure out what I can do. How is the defense looking differently from this year in training camp practice than your past few years?
Oh, I mean, completely different. I mean, there are two different schemes from last year to this year, and then even in the past when they ran a similar scheme to this, they're doing a good job pre-snap of making a lot of things look similar, and then post-snap making me think, or making the quarterback and the receivers trying to read the coverage think a little bit longer than they would like to. And that's the area that they want to play in, and it makes it tougher on any offense you're playing. And they're going to continue to get their communication right, continue to get their disguises the way that they want to. We're talking across the hallway, as we say, helping them out, and when something just looks more obvious than something else, and they're giving us good keys on things that we're doing, and that's part of training camp, and that's what it's about. But they're doing a really good job.
Were you confident all along that the shoulder issue was going to be minor, or was there ever a moment where, given it is your throwing shoulder, you were concerned?
No, I mean, I wasn't. I was never really worried. I mean, honestly, probably the 5 to 10 minutes before I even came out, I started thinking about it as like, I'm feeling, as I said, I thought it was going to warm up, and I was feeling the tightness or whatever. And as the competitor, you want to push through it, and you want to, just say it's just a day that I feel different. But as I said, it's something I never felt. So at that point, I thought it was important to share it and do whatever was necessary to get it better.
What you were feeling, was that something that if you were in a game that you would have pulled yourself out of the game?
Nah, I doubt it. Yeah, I doubt it. But I know we're early. I know it's early in training camp, and I know I'm obviously trying to get to the season and get to the season healthy. And so that was the main reason of it. But yeah, I doubt in a game that happens.
Or if this was a regular season, you think you'd still be playing and going through this? Maybe.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think I'd do whatever was necessary and take the steps that were needed to make sure that I was ready for Sunday, if that's when it was, or Monday, or whenever the game would be. I know I'd get myself there one way or another and be able to perform it the way that I want to.
Yeah, can you talk about the two catches we saw from the second-year guys yesterday, CeeDee Lamb and Sean McCure, the tight end at there?
Yeah, those were impressive. I mean, CeeDee continues to make play after play, catch after catch that are jaw-dropping, and looks like a bunch of another 88s, I guess, that wore that number, and then it's impressive. And then to see a guy like Sean come out there and finish the drill off that we needed a touchdown, that was a big-time play by him, just bringing it in, getting the one knee down. Those are huge plays, and guys that continue to make that, young guys making those plays is going to make the other guys step up, and it's just great to see that many playmakers and guys wanting the ball in their hands and doing special things like that when they're targeted.
CeeDee getting more work on the outside. Can you already see him getting more awareness and taking that next step?
For sure, he's getting definitely way more comfortable from the first practice, whether it's running routes at a certain depth or getting different releases, and that's things that he did in college. So it's not like he's playing a completely different position. He's a pure athlete, and he's a hell of a receiver, but just to be able to see him move around and be outside a lot more than inside right now, it's special, and it's going to allow us to move him around and move other guys around. And when we break the huddle, you're not going to necessarily know where any of the guys are lining up.
As a leader, what drives you to remain engaged when you're rehabbing, to wear the helmet, to shout across the field in support of Zeke or whomever it may be? What is that about for you?
Well, yeah, I mean, I just want to be a part of it, honestly, and just knowing that does a lot for those guys. Me being engaged, it does a lot for me. It allows me, as I said, to stay mentally sharp and see the things that I need to see, but to continue to get those guys going, help some other guys step up and be the leader, help some other guys step up and be vocal when I'm not there. So when I can offer a hand at any point, I'm going to do that.
obviously you're kind of focused day to day on training camp. When you have a birthday like yesterday, I mean, how much do you take a moment to reflect and be like, yeah, I want to be practicing when I'm 28 and not every day is promised? Like, how much were you thinking about sort of like big picture?
I mean, there's probably certain moments of every day of my life at this point with just saying everything that I've been through that I take a moment just to be grateful for where I'm at. Nothing is promised, and I realize that, and I'm thankful for to turn 28 yesterday, and I'm thankful to be able to be out here and at training camp and doing what I love most, playing with my teammates, something that I've been doing for a long time, a long part of my life. And so it's just a blessing. It's something that I'll never take for granted. As I said, having fans screaming me happy birthday and singing it time and time again, it's something that'll never get old, and I'm just blessed to be able to spend my birthdays like this and just getting to do what I love.
How competitive is that target game between the four of you guys?
It's pretty competitive, and I think that yesterday was when I started feeling the tightness in my shoulder when I wasn't dominating that. So that's when I was really, contemplating like what's going on. But no, it really is. And Garrett does a great job. Danucci, we're always messing with him, and Cooper. It's a lot of trash talk. It allows us to talk some trash amongst each other before obviously we continue on with practice and help each other out.
Garrett says you've created the rules of the game, like carry it over from the spring or doesn't start back over, so he thinks you might still be in the lead, but if it's out here.
If we're going back to the spring, I'm definitely in the lead. And then, so, Garrett's a nice guy. So when he's won a couple of these days, and I think that's just his way of buttering me up and trying not to get me to flip that switch is by saying, oh, you're still in the lead, but I know exactly what he's doing. But if we go back to the spring, yeah, sure. But he's got it right now at the beginning of training camp, and I'm ready to get this arm right so I can get back out there and take the reins again.
How does Danucci handle the trash talk, and how would you describe his presence in the quarterback room when he's obviously at a very different place in his career than you or even Garrett and Cooper?
Yeah, he has a great ambiance and confidence about himself. I think that's going to help him out in the long run. He comes out here and he loves the game. He loves competing. Obviously, he's not much of as good of a trash talker as I say I am, but he does a good job of keeping things fun. He's great in the film room, always engaged, and we've got a great quarterback room.
Ashton said he brings deep energy to the defense. That's what he wants to bring. So on the offensive side, who's bringing that juice and that energy for you guys?
I'd say right now probably myself, but we have some guys. I mean, Lyell was getting going yesterday. CD does it obviously just with his play and kind of just his little shoulder shrugs he does when he makes plays. But a lot of the guys on offense aren't as vocal as maybe Basham and some of those other guys on defense. But it's important for me to fire back, and that's just a part of the offense. Guys want to be locked in. Guys want to be focused, and you've got to understand that right now in install football. But once we get past these install stages, I'm sure guys will speak up a little bit and fire some trash talk back. But it's all fun and games, and it's making us better.
Coaches often talk about developing other coaches. As the leader of this team, do you try to develop other leaders?
Yeah, 100%. I've said it before. I think a good leader knows when to follow and knows when to put other people in charge. So that's something that I take a lot of pride in. And whether it's calling offense up or whether it's telling a guy certain things to go tell somebody else, that's something I'm always conscious of and just trying to help my teammates out. And we've got so many great guys with great personalities that are natural leaders that sometimes just need to be, slapped on the back and helped out a little bit. So it's important for me to do that when I can.
When you're in the meeting rooms, have you gotten to the point to where you don't notice the cameras from Hard Knocks or not?
Yeah, for sure. And I know the fact that the Cowboys are going to take care of us and get to look at some of these copies before they get produced. I don't think much about it. So, I mean, yeah, when you play in Dallas, I mean, camera's always around. Obviously, we've had the camera deal going on my second year in the league. So you just get used to it. It's just part of it. When you play for this organization, that comes with it. And you want to be great, you got to understand the cameras and all those things are going to happen. So it's something that I've embraced. And we have fun, and we don't necessarily worry about it. As I said, they do their job, we do our job, and we're getting along, and they're helping us out, staying out of the way.
You mentioned trash talking. How did you develop that skill, and when did it start?
Oh, when you're the youngest of three boys, you better pick it up, and you better pick it up quick. And not only just my brothers, but growing up with the friends that I have, I'm probably medium when it comes to the trash talking around my house and my friends, whether it's dominoes, whether it's a little shooting contest, or no matter what it would be. So I just say I'm a product of my environment.
With
Zach Martin, what's the most impressive thing you've seen him do on a field?
What doesn't he do that's impressive? Maybe a couple of years ago, he was locked in on a block, and a good player hit a move on him, and Zach literally spun around and got back in front of the guy and continued on the block. And I don't know, man. That guy's impressive. That guy's he's a leader with everything that he does. He does things the right way. And then we just obviously watch his play. He's the best there is in the business, and I'm blessed just to have him up there protecting me.
Zeke's birthday gift as good as the one you gave him?
It was. Zeke had a great birthday gift, yeah. Nice luggage bag, something that y'all probably see me carrying to the away games. So, yeah, he had a home run with that one, for sure.